What's her number? Hi.
I'm getting about 30 calls about you on my phone, and I'm a gangster. So you better f***ing leave here right now before there's trouble for yourself.
The man taken off the plane is an internet personality, a live broadcaster who was streaming right before he boarded that flight.
Yeah, I could give the money back. It is within my power. But I'm gonna look out for myself and not do that.
I see some moderators walking over my flight sometimes too. If you're a moderator, you walk over my flight, you're demodded. Don't f with me. Bullshit!
On him again!
This is a business at the end of the day, and I don't want to lose money from shit.
Nobody understands the situation. Nobody can help, because nobody gets it.
You don't give a shit about me, because I'm an American, right? Why are you so racist?
I'm being held in Thailand for the actions that I've done.
Without a question, Ice Poseidon is up there as being one of the most influential creators in recent memory. The style of content he pioneered and the chaotic, magnetic energy he brought to it has become so omnipresent online that many forgot who started it all in the first place. For years, Ice has pushed the limits of what can and will be done live, and in the process, reinventing the world of IRL streaming as we know it today. For better or for worse, he helped mold the blueprint for many top streamers of today, all to just light it on fire, leaving behind a trail of burned bridges, broken communities, and a legacy that's as infamous as it is influential. With a never-ending string of controversies that blur the line between watching and hate watching, and an endless slew of clips, each one more unhinged than the last, his legacy can truly be called anything but boring. This is going to be a roller coaster of a video, so buckle up, grab a snack, and of course, enjoy. Before the plane bans, TTS chaos, and borderline illegal streams, Ice Poseidon, real name Paul Danino, was just a quiet kid growing up in suburban Florida. He was born on September 29th, 1994, and by most accounts had a pretty standard upbringing. But where some kids were into sports or school clubs, Paul found his passion behind a screen. At age 12, a neighbor had introduced him to a game called Runescape, and a young Paul was instantly hooked, sinking hours and hours into the game every single day. And from there, his fascination with online gaming and the internet, as well as the attention it could bring, started to grow, and the Ice Poseidon character would soon start to emerge from the previously regular kid. After receiving his name from an online generator in 2015, he would start streaming old school RuneScape over on Twitch. And even from the very start, the gameplay may have brought people in, but it was his explosive personality and unapologetically raw delivery that made people keep watching, slowly cultivating a toxic fan base that matched his particular character. And he'd start to treat his streams almost as if a party line, responding to chat non-stop and saying whatever crossed his mind in that very moment, completely unfiltered.
It's okay for me to say that it's gay. Although, you know, it's not okay if I was just completely straight and I didn't give a shit, but like, you know, since I have sex with a man before, it's okay for me to say that.
He also began accepting TTS donations, allowing viewers to say whatever they wanted live on stream. And given the kind of audience he attracted, this quickly spiraled into an unfiltered barrage of offensive jokes, trolling, and chaos that became both a trademark of his content and a constant source of controversy. And the chaos wouldn't just stop with his viewers, as in-game he'd grow a reputation as being a dick, constantly pulling in-game pranks or trolling other players on the server. This would lead to Ice's first of many Twitch bans when he would accidentally dox another RuneScape player's information on stream. During a RuneScape gameplay session, Ice opened a private message that revealed another player's phone number and personal contact info live to his viewers. Although an honest mistake, Twitch was sure to swoop in and issue him his first temporary ban, something that they'd continue to have to do for years to come. Afterwards, he would continue his regular RuneScape streams for a bit until in 2016, when Ice would first begin his venture into a relatively new concept in IRL streaming. At the time, roughly 98% of all Twitch content revolved around gaming, so turning the monitor off and taking viewers in the real world was very much a new thing, and there wasn't yet much of an audience for it. But following the release of Pokemon Go, an augmented reality game that requires real-life life engagement, Ice would start broadcasting himself wandering cities, meeting people, and reacting to live chaos in real time. The gameplay itself was completely secondary to the social interactions he had on stream, and he would eventually drift away from Pokemon Go as the game died down to start doing social eating content, which basically just consisted of Ice eating a sandwich and talking to strangers. This new style of live streaming would capture a new audience for Twitch who might not necessarily have been into gaming, and this is where Ice Poseidon really started to grow a prominent following. He would even start to collab with other popular streamers like Destiny, where on stream, Ice would even broadcast himself getting electrocuted close to death while trying to arrange his new gaming setup.
Now, try pushing the power button on the motherboard or the case.
Oh, what the fuck was that, dude?
What just happened?
I have no idea. Something exploded in my computer. Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Dude, I have no idea. Did you fucking hear that shit?
Crazy moments like these were what his audience yearned for, and he began to up the ante with the types of stunts he would pull. Having a more raw, unpredictable style of content, something Ice was quite good at, led Paul to quickly rise to the top of his niche, averaging tens of thousands of viewers every single stream. It got to the point where Ice was even able to quit his day job as a line cook, something the vast majority of streamers could only dream of. But while Ice may have been seeing a ton of success in his streaming career, his personal life began to deteriorate. With the nature of constantly streaming, he became estranged from both any of his previous friends as well as his parents.
You know, I don't talk to anybody. Like, I don't even talk to my parents. Like, I live with my parents, but we maybe talk like 2 words, maybe like 2 words a day, like maybe a sentence a day. Like, we don't talk at all. To argue and stuff. That's not talking, though. That's not the kind of talking you want to do. You know, and yeah, I don't really have anybody else. So you guys are like, if there's anybody in here watching, you're like the one who I'm, you know what I mean, talking to and letting this off my chest with. When you just don't talk to anybody for so long, it just gets to you. And I know I should, like, not fucking sleep for so long and I could go out and do shit. I just don't know how to fucking go out and meet people, man, without having, like I don't, like, usually you meet people at, like, a job or, like, school or something. But I don't know how to, there's no way for me to do that.
Being completely open like this was a rite of passage for Ice. He held no barriers to his audience, which made many feel as if they sort of knew him. Twitch would even officially add an IRL streaming section to their homepage, which was great news for Paul. He could finally do the streams he really wanted, but funnily enough, on the day of its release, Ice would again be banned by the platform. While live, Ice had been flirting with a girl and eventually received her number, but had forgotten to mute the stream, leaking this innocent girl's information to thousands of rabid viewers. This would lead Twitch to give Ice a full 45-day ban, which in the moment really sucked. He had no source of income or really anything else to do. But he would use this time away strategically to make sure his comeback was bigger and better than ever. During this time, he would decide to leave his home in Florida and move to Los Angeles in order to further pursue his streaming career. Here he would meet comedian, actor, and rapper Andy Milonakis, and the two would begin to frequently collab with each other on stream. They would build a strong rapport together and frequently do degenerate activities throughout the streets of LA, constantly testing people. Ice would also enlist an open door policy on his apartment, which let any and everyone show up to his residence whenever they wanted. This would cause a ton of both positive and negative consequences for Ice. Literally anyone could come, which led to a mixed bag of participants, but either way, it led to some entertaining content nonetheless.
There you go.
No. Dude. Get it. Ruben, go get down there. Get it. Yes.
And by this time, in early 2017, he was easily one of the biggest and freshest faces in the streaming community. But with this rise in popularity, the only more deranged his fans became, now deeming themselves the Purple Army, a fan base notorious for swatting their favorite creator. The first time happening in April of 2017, while playing PUBG, a viewer had called local police, informing them that a local man, Paul Danino, was armed with a Glock and planned to end himself in Minecraft.
Who the fuck is that? Yo, is that somebody at my door? Fuck. Hold on! Give me a second.
Most streamers would take this as a wake-up call to tone things down and to try to stay safe. But not Ice Poseidon. Instead, he leaned even harder into the madness, which would lead to him literally getting swatted every single day.
You were basically the greatest target to like online trolling and swatting that may have ever existed.
Yeah, dude, I've been swatted probably 500 times. I mean, every day, it'd be like 3 times a day for like years. I mean, 24 hours a day just swatted. It was horrible.
And if that wasn't enough, his streams only got more unhinged. Later that same month, Ice captured a man jumping off a building in an apparent way to end himself in Minecraft, live in front of thousands of viewers.
Turn the stream off. I wanna, you should vlog this. Oh my God. What the fuck? Did you turn the stream off?
The line between entertainment and tragedy was gone, and the IRL experiment was spiraling out of control. His streams would even gain reoccurring side characters like Mexican Andy, an LA stream sniper who would constantly stalk Ice's stream to show up and mess with him. He even at one point uncovered Ice Poseidon's full address and threatened to leak his information to all of the internet.
I know where Ice lives. Exactly an apartment number. Will you guys follow me if I went to his house? You can't just come uninvited.
Actually, it wasn't.
Who invited you?
Voltasat invited me.
Is this true? Who invited you?
He just said he was downstairs.
You just came. You said you were downstairs and you just came and that's okay?
Yeah, sure, pretty much.
But despite everything, I still developed a certain respect for the troll who actually had the guts to show his face and eventually would make him a regular on the stream. Despite being of Guatemalan descent, he got his name as a way for chat to differentiate him from Andy Milanakis, both being two short fat guys. Eventually, Ice would start a new streaming venture that would quickly become a fan favorite, his TTS sleep streams. This stream staple would start as just an indirect consequence of always being live. At that time, in 2017, Ice was streaming pretty much all day, streaming even until the point of him falling asleep on camera, where viewers thought it'd be funny to send noisy super chats that would either wake or scare him. Noticing the popularity of this and the fun interactive role it provided his audience, he would increase the price of certain super chats to where people could play songs or custom noises while Ice was sleeping just to mess with him. This feature became a huge fan favorite and proved to be extremely lucrative for Ice, literally making sometimes $5,000 all while sleeping, which are still to this day some of his most viewed videos up on his YouTube channel. But after a while, fans got tired of paying to just wake Paul up, and the novelty of it began to fade, where Ice realized he needed to up the stakes a bit, where Ice would introduce the ability for fans to outright injure him. During certain streams, viewers could pay a relatively low sum in just $30 to sometimes tase, pepper spray, or just beat the shit out of Ice. Around this time, Ice Poseidon had started dating a former actress named Caroline, and while the two were in love, Ice's fans despised her and were determined to end their relationship. They felt although with this new love interest in his life, Paul was not committed to his streams and his viewers the same way he was before her, and his most toxic of fans wouldn't stop until she was gone. Viewers began to berate her social media accounts, referring to her only as alien due to her plastic surgery operations, and even boycotted watching Ice's streams altogether until they broke up. The backlash wasn't just noise, it led to a noticeable drop in viewership, placing Ice in a harsh ultimatum. Give up the girl he loved or become a plaything for his fans, willing to sacrifice anything to keep their attention. Unsurprisingly, Surprisingly, with the little self-respect and backbone someone of Paul's character possesses, he decided it better to shill to his fans and cut ties with her, sinking even deeper into the terminally online existence he had built around their approval. But off camera, things were never that simple. Despite the dramatic breakup and public denouncements, Paul and Caroline continued seeing each other in secret, caught in a toxic loop of codependency and denial. Once fans found out that not only had they never broken up, but Ice had been lying to them for months, they began to question whether anything Paul said and did could be trusted. Streams would get flooded with comments saying fake and gay, and people began to bully Ice Poseidon over his apparent simping. Eventually, the facade crumbled, and the two stopped bothering to hide their relationship, but by then, whatever tenderness had once existed between them had long since eroded, and the two were pretty much exclusively seen arguing on camera.
You can't hear your fucking sponsor.
Can we talk alone?
Yeah, it's lunch, okay?
Can we please talk alone?
No. No, you don't deserve
Jackson Andy, get a nice close-up.
You don't deserve
What up, Reddit? You all hear the 100%
Get a close-up. The only way to make her leave is to make her uncomfortable. Just come here. Just get in her face.
The two would part ways shortly after, and Ice would again direct his focus back into his career. By late 2017, Ice decided to even build something bigger than himself. He would begin to form what would soon become known as the CX Network, a collection of loosely affiliated streamers and other creators. Unlike traditional content houses, the CX Network was more like a rotating circus of chaotic personalities. Anyone could join, stream, and cause mayhem, so long as they were willing to push the boundaries of what IRL content could be. And the result could only be described as an absolute shit show.
I had a feeling that would happen. GBZ, what do I give you the taser, dog? Bro, how do you accidentally pull the fucking trigger?
Streamers like Asian Andy, Burger Planet, Tracksuit Andy, EBZ, and Sam Pepper became regulars. The house quickly turned into an always-on reality show, filled with constant drama, fights, drugs, homelessness, and moments of sheer insanity. It became no longer a Twitch stream, but a near 24/7 broadcast. That is, until inevitably, just like all content houses, tensions within the group started rising, and it all came crashing down. There was constant fighting, people stealing from one another, never-ending police calls, and it was really just a matter of time before it all fell apart. And if that wasn't enough, Ice was about to go through his most notorious controversy to date, which would end in him getting his Twitch channel banned, this time permanently. In November of 2017, at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, while preparing to board a flight to New York City for a meet and greet event, Ice had been live on Twitch. Something very risky, even for his standards. Airports are one of the most security-sensitive places you can be, so any slip-up would not be taken lightly. While live streaming, Ice had his text-to-speech enabled when a viewer donated with a message that claimed there was a bomb inside of Ice's bag. This, understandably so, sent security in a frenzy, and Ice would immediately be taken off the flight, interrogated, and detained by law enforcement. He would later be released, but the damages had already been done. Within just 24 hours of the incident, Twitch issued Ice Poseidon a permanent ban from the platform. This wasn't a temporary slap on the wrist, it was an outright exile. Twitch made it clear that streaming from sensitive locations like airports, combined with TTS and his fanbase's history of harassment, made Ice a liability that they could no longer afford to host. This cut Paul off from his biggest source of income and his largest audience, and if he didn't act quickly, that loss could become permanent. Naturally, he appealed Twitch's decision while simultaneously shifting his streams over to YouTube, but the transition proved far from seamless. His audience on YouTube never reached the same strength as it had on Twitch, and he experienced a notable decline in viewership. And on top of that, YouTube has much stricter regulations on live content, and a lot of the chaotic stream moments his viewers watch for simply wouldn't be possible anymore. And while some loyal fans followed him to his new platform, many others didn't bother, and he found himself a rock in a hard place. Being a now banned creator, creator, others wanting to collaborate with Ice would now be seen as a brand risk, and his options for mainstream appeal seemed dwindling. So instead, he began experimenting with his own platform, launching Scuff.com, a custom-built streaming site designed to host content without the interference of traditional moderation. This was Ice's attempt to take control of his own ecosystem. No more bans, no more corporate oversight, just raw, unfiltered IRL content. But he would quickly find out that running your own platform comes with its own problems. Scuff.com quickly became a digital Wild West, with minimal moderation and an audience that had already proven to push the boundaries. It wasn't long before things spiraled. There also didn't appear to be much planning or oversight done on Ice's end, and the Scuff.com venture would already conclude just months after its launch. With that failure behind him, Paul once again found himself searching for a platform, a place to stream without the constant risk of bans or demonetization, and that's when Mixer started to come calling. Now, Mixer was a Microsoft-owned streaming platform that set out to be a contester to websites like Twitch or YouTube. And by 2019, Mixer had started making huge leaps to set itself a pack runner in the streaming atmosphere, signing huge names like Ninja and Shroud for $1 million contracts, during which they'd also issue our boy, Paul Danino, an offer he couldn't refuse, and he would start working with them late that same year. It was a surprising move. Mixer was known for its clean, gamer-friendly environment, far removed from Paul's typical chaos. But for Ice, it represented a chance at legitimacy, a clean slate, a shot at rebuilding his brand under the banner of a major tech company. He even launched a reality show on the platform called Scuff Brother.
February 20th, on Mixer, the streaming platform, we are doing an event called Scuff Brother. 9 contestants, every day they win money, prize money, they do challenges.
A 5-day Big Brother style event that featured other Mixer streamers and saw very impressive viewership numbers. But at no fault to Ice, this operation just wouldn't pan out. Mixer as a whole was struggling. Despite signing big names, the platform never truly gained traction, and less than a year later, in July of 2020, Microsoft announced they were shutting down Mixer entirely. And just like that, Ice was without a platform again. Mixer was gone, Twitch had since exiled him, and YouTube, while still technically an option, no longer gave him the freedom or the audience he once thrived on. Ice Poseidon had burned bridges across the entire streaming landscape, and with nowhere left to go, he faded into a kind of digital limbo. In attempts to get back into the good graces of the website that started him, Ice would put together a heartfelt message to Twitch headquarters, asking for his channel to be reinstated. With a frankly bold move, Ice would recount on his past mistakes and ask that Twitch seriously consider giving him back his platform, as he was apologetic about his past and ready to turn over a new leaf.
I'm making this video as my apology to Twitch in the hopes that somebody will listen. I've learned a lot over the past couple of years as a streamer, and with experience comes maturity. And with maturity comes a different mindset. And my mindset now is completely different to what it was 3 years ago. And I found out, after reforming my community and changing the actions that I do, I have found happiness again in streaming. Happiness that I haven't had in over 2 years.
Twitch, however, would never respond. At one point, one of the site's biggest creators left in the dust as if he was never there to begin with. His content slowed to a crawl, streams were inconsistent, directionless, and for a period, Ice seemed as if he got in, made his money, and was now quietly exiting from the internet. And only if that was the case, because what he would do instead was far more sinister, using his large fan base to scam millions. Sometime during his streaming absence and the crypto boom of 2021, Ice Poseidon launched a cryptocurrency called CXcoin, and on the surface, it sounded noble, a decentralized way to support streamers, giving fans a chance to invest in their favorite creators, while supposedly helping them avoid platform cuts as well as monetization issues. And within just days of the launch, Ice had raised well over $500,000. He live streamed the project's rollout, appeared in promotional videos, and assured fans this was a long-term commitment, with projections to go to the moon. But beneath the branding and buzzwords, there was absolutely no infrastructure. The blockchain didn't even do so much as work. This was through and through a complete scam in every sense of the word, with Ice himself retaining full control of the liquidity pool, a major red flag in any crypto project. So it was no surprise that days after its launch, Ice's wallet was seen withdrawing $300,000, and any updates on the project by Ice or his team were left on deaf ears. This is when popular internet personality CoffeeZilla began to investigate the situation, and when confronting Paul directly, he was shockingly honest, outright admitting to a blatant felony right on camera.
You want to keep the money that's not yours, that you took from the project, even though you failed to deliver.
I mean, I'm not really sure what you want me to say, but yeah.
I'm trying to like get you to return the money because it's 100% still available and you could do that.
Yeah, I could give the money back. It is within my power. But I'm going to look out for myself and not do that. I don't like know what else to say. That's just the most honest answer.
This was a shocking moment, and in a way, something you actually have to respect Ice for. With so many influencers scamming their fans and dodging accountability, it's almost surreal to see someone just admit it outright. No sugarcoating, no excuses, just unapologetic honesty. But even so, this upfrontness did nothing to help his already pretty sour online image, where, rightfully so, Paul was immediately labeled a washed up scammer. He sat right next to names like Ricegum, FaZe K, and Logan Paul with his infamous CryptoZoo project. But what made Ice stand out was that he didn't even pretend to be sorry.
You're still holding something that's inactive for months. Like, sure, okay, maybe they, have faith in me, whatever, but that's not a good...
That's your fans, dude. That's your fans.
This felt less like a scam and more like just a massive fuck you to the very fan base that built him. In all fairness, one that never fully respected him, constantly trolled him, and treated him more like a spectacle than a person. So when Ice cashed out and walked away, it wasn't just theft, it was also payback. Ice's name and likeness was the lowest it's ever been, and he did what all disgraced internet stars at least should do in the face of controversy. Just let it be and ride out the storm. He was more than happy to just be the villain, and quietly made an exit from the internet with his big bag of cash and sat on it. And here he sat for almost around a full year, presumably partying and traveling the world with the stolen money from his biggest of fans. During this period, he did have a boxing match with fellow influencer Brandon Buckingham, but it was pretty obvious he barely trained for it, and the fight concluded first round to technical knockout.
His feet are all over the place, Ice Poseidon. He's not got the foundation.
Oh, he
got cut. Those are the punches. Buckingham waiting his time. Jab. Blood pouring out his nose. Caught him again. The referee's letting him fight for him. Boom! Oh my God! This is going to end in a very scary way.
Oh my God!
Big shot again. Oh,
Save him! Good Lord, save him! Save him! No! Save him!
And they will save him!
Save him!
Brandon Buckingham, the Banana Man can, as he beats Ice Poseidon.
The whole thing felt more like a cash grab than a sincere return. Just another way to stay seen without really showing up. He could care less about the sport. All he really wanted was another easy payday the only way he knew how, by making himself a spectacle and then fucking off with a fatter wallet. And that probably would have been the end of his story, drifting in obscurity, too tainted for Twitch and too irrelevant for YouTube. That is, until a new player entered the arena. A streaming platform with deep pockets, loose rules, and a taste for controversy. I'm of course talking about none other than Kick, stake-affiliated live streaming platform that truly doesn't give a shit. And they didn't just open the door for Ice, they cut the check. Suddenly, Ice Poseidon, the disgraced architect of IRL streaming, had an unlikely second chance. Not because he changed, but because a platform came along that didn't care. In 2023, Ice Poseidon signed a 7-figure deal with Kick, not to clean up his act, but to double down on the chaos. And that's what he do, celebrating his return to streaming with a whopping 100-day consecutive subathon throughout all of Europe and Asia. He would travel from obscure villages to large-scale cities, celebrities, tagged along by various influencers filming every second of it, whether good or bad, and I'm sure by this point, knowing Ice Poseidon, I think you can figure out a lot of it would be bad.
Yeah, slam dunk! Get fucked! Get fucked! America!
Bro, we're scaring the customers away.
With already by the first 2 days, hostility beginning to brew with Ice and his correspondents. He had started the subathon in Japan with another streamer, Vexed, and at the time, rising streamer, when a fan had sent a $700 super chat asking that the money be given to their favorite streamer, Vexed. But after only giving him $400, yes, the man who just signed a multi-million-dollar deal was about to rip a friend off for $300, Vex pressed Ice on stream.
Maybe you only want to be around people who got pressed for $400. Only around the people who will accept $400 instead of $700. Maybe you want the fucking people who want what they're owed out of your life.
You broke my cable. You're a fucking asshole. I'll give you the $700, but then you fuck off. I am clear. You're a fucking asshole and you're a fucking idiot too. Because now you're not going to have another opportunity to make money. Congratulations. I hope $300 was worth this relationship.
And what's worse of all, only a few months later, Vexed would actually sadly pass away, and this degrading clip would be one of his last ever on-screen appearances. Ice would continue his time in Japan alone, interacting with locals and visiting various locations. But the next stop would be India, where he'd reunite with Sam Pepper, and off-rip, the two would already start butting heads.
Bro, none of my camera's not fucking waterproof, you bitch! Bro, it's fucking broken, you're a twat, bro! Oh my gosh. Ah, Sam, are you okay? Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh!
Go figure, two of the internet's biggest dipshits can't seem to get along. Who would have guessed?
You're the most aggravating person I've ever met in my entire life. And you think you're smart, you think you know everything, you think you're better than everyone around you.
No,
you ain't
I
bro.
don't think I'm better. I'm just saying you saying I'm lazy and I don't. You said I'm lazy and I tap out. And the point was
You
I
did.
I didn't.
And I said that because you said I'm lazy when dude, I'm not lazy. I'm carrying around a 6-pound camera.
But by far the most memorable part of the India journey came not in the form of a moment, but a person, Deepak. Deepak was just an unassuming local Indian tour guide who had been acquired to help Ice throughout the city. Ice started talking with him, and Chad immediately found his personality and mannerisms very charming and unintentionally hilarious. By the end of the first day, they hit it off so well that Deepak even brought Ice to meet his family and tour his house, a rundown, crammed slum he and 14 other people had been living in. Seeing the awful conditions he resided in, Deepak would promptly be hired full-time to accompany Ice on his journey through India, and was automatically a fan favorite. He was unfailingly polite, patient, and slightly confused by the chaos of the stream, but also game to hang out, try things, and to just get involved. It quickly became clear that Deepak genuinely cared for Ice as a true friend, and the feeling was mutual.
How much was this?
It's a gift.
Real gold?
Yeah.
Real silver?
Yeah, it's a gift.
Oh, thank you, Deepak, bro. That's so nice, man.
Their bond grew so strong that Ice eventually gave Deepak enough support to quit his job and pursue streaming full-time. He would tag along with Ice for the rest of his travels, streaming to his newfound audience all his voyages along the way. He even accompanied Ice on the grueling trek to the Mount Everest base camp, carefully stepping over actual dead bodies on one of the world's most dangerous and deadly mountains. But while this did ultimately go smoothly, their next stop in Bangkok, Thailand wouldn't end so nicely. While at a fancy upscale Thai restaurant with Deepak and his then girlfriend Kimberly, Ice had dressed in lingerie and performed a lap dance for his girlfriend in the hotel's private lounge. The hotel manager noticed the behavior via CCTV, stormed in, and demanded they stop the stream and leave, calling law enforcement.
My name is Guy, General Manager of Bayati Bangkok. What are you doing if you not respect Thai culture and Thai women?
No, I'm sorry.
But what? I mean,
you cannot do this in Thailand.
Okay.
This is very serious, and my manager is woman also. I'm in a meeting with a customer at the rooftop, and what are you doing? Can you put it down now, or you want to have a case with me?
No, I'm good.
We can go to police station now. Can you call?
Ice and Deepak would then be arrested and charged under Thailand's obscenity laws, an insane crime that could potentially lead to a 5-year prison sentence. What's worse of all, Deepak, an innocent civilian in the incident, was arrested and sent to jail right alongside Ice, despite doing absolutely nothing wrong. The two would spend the night in a cold Thai prison cell and were looking at facing some very serious consequences from the Thai authorities. Instead, after calling his lawyer and blackmailing the shady store owner, Ice would instead be forced to pay a $12,000 bail and make a public statement, apologizing for his disrespect to Thai culture.
I'm being held in Thailand for the actions that I've done a few nights ago at a hotel in Bangkok, Thailand. I wanted to make this video to apologize to Mrs. Noparat Oompa and the Bayan Tree Hotel in Bangkok for the actions that I've done. I did not know the severity of the actions that I've caused, and I was just trying to have fun, and I'm sorry. We were drunk, we were in a room, I just didn't understand the severity of what I'd done. I lap dancing on my girlfriend.
But his trouble with the law would only continue to press on, where at the next stop in Australia, Ice would be arrested yet again for even more degenerate behavior. While streaming live in Queensland, Ice Poseidon and collaborator Sam Pepper paid a local man $500 to hire a sex worker and brought her back to their hotel room. But instead of using her for her normal routine, the two would instead decide to play a prank on her, setting up cameras everywhere and sending in an unbeknownst fan to talk with her, where they'd play inappropriate and obscene noises. While this was happening, fans would quickly find the girl's social medias and mass spam her, which completely freaked her out, causing her to leave the premises. And all while simultaneously, another fan had called local police and told them that Sam and Ice kidnapped and sexually assaulted the woman. An officer arrived on the scene and the two were taken into custody.
City Police Station, you're both currently under arrest for sexual assault. So come and stand over here. Yes, seriously. So come and stand over here.
Well, hold on. Who sexually assaulted?
Please just step over here.
Oh yeah, sure,
Step
no
over
problem.
here.
But
The pair would be released after further investigation, but this just goes to show you how little Ice had learned from any of his lessons. The subathon eventually wrapped up after the full 100 days, and Ice returned to his house in Austin, Texas to cool off and recover. But for a person like him who feeds off depravity and noise, it wasn't long before he was back in front of the camera, chasing the next high, ready for round 2. In attempts to keep momentum going on Kick, he organized a jail livestream event where contestants were put in a cell and basically just abused for the chance of a $50,000 prize. This more than anything raised ethical concerns among viewers who felt like even for Ice Poseidon standards, this was going a bit far. So to combat this, he thought it'd be a good idea for his next move to launch a citywide scavenger hunt throughout Austin, Texas, hiding various QR codes with clues in order to win a $30,000 prize. But this time instead, letting anyone and everyone who wanted to join be a part of the occasion, as long as they live streamed it. Unsurprisingly, this became a nightmare for the city.
Step on the gas! Step on the gas! Step on the gas!
Huge crowds of rambunctious wannabe streamers poured into the streets, slashing tires, stealing, and vandalizing property. People were picking fights, getting in accidents,
Quit following me!
and the mayhem would only commence when a streamer quite literally robbed another contestant of his victory. Streamer Raza had point blank robbed another contestant, Tazo, before he could reach the final clue, leading Raza to ultimately win the competition and leave Tazo in the dust.
Oh, God. Oh.
someone's robbing Tazo.
Oh, let me see. That's not amazing. Nothing else.
Who is it?
That's not, that's your property. Need to see what you took. What did he take? Guys, what did he take? Oh, God. Yeah, you shouldn't have stolen from me, bro.
Oh, he maced Tazo!
And what's even crazier is that Ice Poseidon didn't regulate this, still crowning Raza the victory and the prize money despite literally robbing the rightful victor. It would appear for Ice, the objective truth is always secondary to what's going to be the most entertaining. Whatever path promises the most engagement is the one he commits to, regardless of whether it's grounded in fact or fiction or is morally just or unjust. In his world, entertainment is the only currency that matters, and the narrative will always bend to serve it.
Like my games are about entertainment, bro. It's not about what's right and what's wrong. It's about entertainment. That's all I care about.
This is probably why, with Ice's latest and greatest expedition, possibly of the most ambitious IRL streaming projects to date, he didn't just push the boundaries of content, he built a real-life Hunger Games and the hit go live.
Really does a lot of work. Shoot me with that takedown. Oh man, this is getting dirty.
Because if the citywide scavenger hunt was just a warning shot, the CX Hunger Games was Ice fully embracing the role of deranged game master, producing a live stream survival style competition where a rag team cast of CX regulars, internet outcasts, and aspiring streamers were dropped into a remote location and pitted against each other in a chaotic free-for-all. Each contestant would start with a total of 10 lives, armed with various weapons, and would be tasked with challenges, team games, and social trials to stay in the competition. The event would mix physical violence.
Oh, he's rushing him! He does not want to talk to you! Oh, come on, you got the shield, bash him with the shield!
With civic sabotage.
You want to shake my hand? Apologize? No? Oh, the you too!
Eliminations.
Oh no.
And ordered voting. But the highlight of all of it would be Ice Poseidon himself, being a completely destructive game master with no regards for his own rules. He'd intervene mid-competition to change outcomes on a whim, shift the stakes without any warning, or outright sabotage players simply because he deemed them boring.
Get him, get his ass, get his ass, get his ass.
But all in all, in the end, the event would ultimately finish a scuffed success, with Streamer Team and Victorious receiving the hefty cash prize. While the Hunger Games proved Ice could still capture attention and pull off large-scale events, it also marked the last time he attempted something of that scale. There haven't been any follow-up projects quite as ambitious, and it seems like, at least for the time being, Paul is taking a bit of a break. Whether this is temporary or forever, only time will tell, but one thing is for certain. Whether you love him or hate him, Ice Poseidon stands as being a benchmark pivotal creator in the greater online ecosystem. His rise, fall, and continued presence serve as a case study in the chaotic power of online fame, as well as the degeneracy that can come along with it. Whether he again reinvents himself or fades into digital obscurity, his influence is noticeable and undeniable, and I'd bet my bottom dollar his story is far from over. But with that said, that's gonna about wrap up the video, guys. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe. This video took a lot out of me. I'm currently in between 2 separate jobs, and this video has taken up a lot of my free time during that period, but it was a lot of fun, and I liked how this turned out. But any feedback on that front really does mean a lot, more than you guys think. Any engagement on the video, even if it's just a comment saying, hey, I thought this video was great, it really does mean the most, being a smaller creator myself. I'm gonna be working on some more stuff in the coming future, so definitely stay tuned for that. Check out some of my other videos on my channel that I think you might enjoy. There's probably some on the screen right now. But yeah, either way, you guys have a good one, and thank you for watching. Peace.